Fucking boo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fucking Boo, Bombing Stories with Big Irish J. Hollingsworth. And today, my guest is really an idol of mine. One of my favorite people. You may have seen him as the Mattress King on Friends. You may have seen him offending people at not offending. I was going to say offending like the Rolling Stones or fucking
making people cry.
Yes, at the Comedy Cellar here in Vegas or in New York. The man, the myth, the legend, Mark Cohen.
Well, hello, dumb Irish J.
Okay, well, that's not a very nice way to start. What you look like you're like the old guy that's like, how do you work this? Your face just keeps coming in.
This is my bombing story. I'm trying to bomb now so I can talk about what I've done so far on this show.
Yeah,
what should I do? This way?
No, you're fine. Don't change anything. You're great.
You're fine.
You're great just the way you are, Mark.
Wait, you're fine, smart Irish J.
Oh, God.
See? Now we're even. Now everything's even up.
So what is your why do you keep moving in? Don't use this as a mirror. We're about to tell your story. Jesus. What has we have the Unabomber on here.
Are we playing TikTok right now?
Yeah. What is your greatest, worstest bombing story, Mark?
You know, I originally told you that I didn't bomb.
Yeah,
but I try not to bomb. But it's kind of funny. I thought of it afterwards. First of all, that show I did with you recently, I kind of bombed. But the story, the irony is, my bombing stories are from TV shows. I bombed on TV shows.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
The first one I did was Jeff Ross hosted a show called Avenue A or Avenue B or something like that. And I came out and I did my, a couple minutes, and I did something about I did like a Spanish joke or a joke about Latinos. This was like 30 years ago too, and it was outside. And there was a group of Latinos up in the bleachers, the last row, and they stood up and gave me the finger for the whole taping, for the whole second half of my taping. They were yelling and giving me the finger during the taping.
Do you know what the joke was?
I'm sure I'm still doing it. I don't remember. I'm sure it wasn't that. I don't remember what it was though. But the one I really had was it became kind of famous in New York, and I forgot about it till you brought it up. There was a show called The A-List. Have you ever heard of that show called The A-List? Sandra Bernhard was the host, and actually the night before my taping, Colin Quinn had a run-in with her, and I heard he was trying to kill her. He was like chasing her around the backstage, because she just didn't care, Do you know who that is, Sandra Bernhard?
Oh, yeah. So, from one of my favorite movies of all time with Jerry Lewis.
Oh yes,
King of Comedy.
Funny. That's funny that you say Jerry Lewis. Most people would have said De Niro, but you said Jerry Lewis. But so she, I didn't have a shirt. I didn't know what I was doing. It was like my second TV show I ever did, and so I borrowed a shirt from a wardrobe, and it happened to be like a silk shirt or something like that. I wasn't thinking anything, So I get on stage, and she introduces me. This was her intro. Oh no, here's the other part too. I you know how I work. I don't really have an act. I kind of wing around and string jokes together.
Real quick before you finish, and I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. When you're saying you're doing these TV shows, are you doing warm up? Are you like acting?
No, I'm sorry. This was a stand up show. I was doing stand up.
Okay, gotcha.
This was my second stand-up show I ever did. It was called The A-List, and everyone else was much better than me. I shouldn't have been on it. I don't know how I ended up.
Oh, don't say that, Mark.
Okay,
so you got a shirt. It was silk.
Silk, and she introduced her. I never even met her beforehand. Like I said, Colin had a fight with her the night before because she didn't care about the comedians. So her introduction to me, I'm not even exaggerating. She said, "Here's a guy. I don't know. I've never met him. I don't know if he's funny. You decide." Jesus. Oh, and that was the other thing too. So I'm telling you, so I didn't have an act. So I said, "Listen, can I use your teleprompter?" They had a teleprompter that must have been 20 feet by 10 feet. It was just huge. And they're like, "No, Sandra Bernhard needs it. They won't let you use it. You can't use it." So I had trouble memorizing stuff anyway. So she introduces me. She goes, "Here's a guy. I don't know if he's funny. You decide." And I come out, and there's this huge screen that I'm staring at, and all it says is Mark Cohen. The whole time they could have obviously put my stuff up there. And we're in San Francisco at this theater, beautiful theater, but was very draped with kind of flowery stuff. And I said, "Oh, this was again 30 years ago." I said, "Oh, nice to be here in Liberace's dressing room." And just they hated me, and I started bombing, and every joke.
By the way, can you get closer so less of your face is on camera?
Less of my face or back?
I'm joking. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you. Because
I want to make sure. I have a funny face. I want to make sure that people get to see my inflections.
Hello.
So I start dying, and on the show, if you could find the tape, it's hilarious. Comedians used to come to my house and we would watch it. I start sweating, and the best thing is, so it's like a 10-minute set, 8-minute set, and I do okay for like the first minute or two, and then I must have said that joke, and I started bombing. So they cut out like 4 minutes of the set. So I'm like, "Hey everybody, how you doing?" And I'm completely dry. And then I go, "Hey everybody," and I turn around and they make a cut. I come back and I'm just dripping sweat. It's like I turned into the werewolf. And I'm dripping in it, and it's a black shirt, and there's sweat, and it's dripping on my shirt and beating up and dripping off. And I said, in the middle, and it's dripping in my eye.
Oh, that's the worst.
And in the middle of the set, I go like this: "Salt." and then I did another show, and I went first. And by the way, you can see it on the show. I mean, I'm just dripping sweat, and I look just horrible. And then like a week later, I did another show, and I went on the first, and I did very well. And the guy who went on after me had trouble for whatever reason, and he's dripping sweat. But then I watch it on TV, and he looks fine. You know what I mean? It's pretty hilarious. I'm like killing, and I look the same, like we did the same. I was like, "Well, how did that happen?" Because like when I was dying on this A list, you could tell I was dying.
Oh, dude. And did Sandra say anything? Did she come up after you got done with your set?
I don't remember. It was just horrible. It sucks now because I really didn't think I bombed when you told me, but every time now I say something, I go, "Oh, when I bombed at that." It's always I bomb on, because I don't bomb on a nightly basis. I bomb when it counts. Like when it's like a TV show or an audition or something like that.
You're like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do this.
I want it to be memorized. You can see that. You would get a kick out. You know how like when people are dying and there's a comedian in the back of the room, just like that's what people would just come by to watch this horrible set.
You mentioned at the beginning our 2 p.m. show at the Orleans. I had Derek Richards on here, and we talked about that too. So can you also tell that story from your perspective? Because I told I was saying I bombed on that show. I was like, I mean, it wasn't set up for comedy.
See, yeah, well, that's true. Except that the only reason that it was set up for comedy is because everyone told us how great it was. Oh my God, they're the greatest audience. And, I mean, they weren't bad, but it was just a huge, tall room.
Every light on.
And I like, if I was the youngest guy there, you know what I mean? The audience was a little older. How can I?
Was that Letterman?
So, that was Carson.
I know.
I know. I was kidding. I guess the truth is, I MC every night and I work every night, and sometimes I get mad at myself because I should be more prepared for these things. But I'm so used to doing 10 minutes now. That's what I do. So I could do more if I put my mind to it. But at this show, I figured it would be the same kind of thing. I get to talk to the people, but they were far away. So I was trying to remember material, and I couldn't do it. I think the point you're maybe getting to is that I was supposed to do probably like 15 minutes. Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yeah, we all were. We were all doing 15. So
then you ended up doing like 25, I think, because I think he was supposed to time you.
Yeah.
And Derek, and I'm like, "Hey, Derek, he's still going." He goes, "Fuck him," or something. How Derek, in a funny way, not like anger.
Well, that's when Derek and I were talking about it, we were saying like he was like, it wasn't even that he was like, "Oh, sorry about that," but he was like, and I was like, no, it was great. I mean, that's what we do as comics. We fuck with each other. But I remember we got there and they were like, how do you want to do the lineup? And you immediately were like, well, I'll host it or I'll open it up because I do that every night. And then I immediately was like, okay, Derek, you close it out. I did not want to close it out.
Oh, yeah. See, I thought he was supposed to close anyway. The truth is, looking back, I wish I did host it. I wish I did do like 7-8 minutes, brought you up, and then did another 5 minutes or whatever it would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would have been, it would have been better for you guys too. I would, I don't know if it would have been better, but it seemed like it would have been, a little more. But you did well, but you just, he did. I think he was like he was on the phone. I remember something was going on. It looked like, and he was just like, hey, I was like, hey, he's done like 4 hours. He's like,
yeah, because I don't know if you're like this. You've been doing stand up though for what, 30, 40 years?
I guess yes, probably. But I didn't do it for 10 years or so. I didn't do it for quite a while on a steady. I mean, I used to do it so much. I used to do 7-8 sets a night. So anything less than that was not doing it.
Yeah. See, I don't know my time, like for the most part. I mean, so I always am like, you got to light me because I just go until I see the light. So that's what happened with that. Is I'm not.
But you knew on some level that you were doing longer than 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes, right? I always think it's funny because as an MC running the show over at the Cellar, it's always like people, I don't know what I was doing. I got so into it. I think you kind of know the difference between 15 minutes and a half hour, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say 5 minutes leeway either way. I could be off, definitely.
Right, 5 minutes I could understand. 3, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
people that go, I don't know. I did a half hour. Oh, I couldn't tell. I said, well, a half hour compared to 10 minutes.
Dude, I remember before you went up, you were like, and that's nice that you said that I did well, but I was like, that was fucking awful. I don't think I did well. I was like, yuck.
You did well, and it was also the kind of thing that I get mad at myself because I knew I was going to not do well. I talked myself into not doing well before I went up. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is going to suck, and I'm not going to be able to do this, and I can't say this. And so when you go up there, and it kind of, it comes true.
Yeah, you manifested it.
And I don't, and the same thing is too. It's like you don't. I don't think you died, and I don't really. I know it. I know I didn't die. Like I was up there not getting any. I was getting laughs, but it was work. You know what I mean?
It wasn't fun. It wasn't
fun. And I get mad at myself again for not. It's the kind of thing is like I don't look at my jokes beforehand ever, because if I do and I don't do well, it means I tried and didn't do well. Do you know what I mean? So if I don't try and I do well, I'm like, see, this is great.
I'm a natural. But I remember before you went on, you were like, hey, can you light me at like 10? I was like, sure. And then I remember at 7.5 minutes, you kind of said to the back, you're like, hey, did I get the light? Where am I at a time?
Yeah, see, I thought, I have the opposite thing. I felt like I thought I had done the time. You know what I mean?
You're like, what? I've been up here an hour?
I think 7 minutes is, yeah. And that's the same thing. I'm used to doing like 8 or 10 minutes a night. So that's my time now. It's like I used to do 20 minutes a night. So I knew 20 minutes. When I headlined on the road for 50 minutes, I knew 50 minutes. But I don't know what I mean.
And then I just remember at like 9.5 or 9 minutes, you're like, all right, guys, ready for your next comedian? And I look at Derek.
I remember you guys laughing, but I really wasn't trying to get off early, except I thought it was, and I felt bad, it's because I don't want to go short, but the lady was like, oh, you were great. And then the next day, our friend Kathleen, who booked it, was like, oh, the lady called and loved you. I was like, oh, yeah, I was great. I did extra time,
Yeah. You're like, Jay went a little short, but
Jay was short, yeah. And I don't even know if Derek went on.
Yeah, dude.
Me and you ran out of there too. I remember. I kind of waited around because I thought you were going to do like 15 minutes, but you ended up doing what'd you end up doing? Like 25, probably.
Yeah, like 25.
About 25. I wonder what he ended up doing. Nobody timed him. Probably he could have done 5 minutes for all we.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, somebody had to make up your time, Mark.
Yeah, but I think per minute I got more laughs than everybody.
That's valid. That's valid. I'll give you that.
I did 3 minutes. I got like 100 laughs.
Yeah. Dude, one guy died.
One guy had a heart attack.
Okay, here we go. So we'll close it out with your Sandra Bullock story or the A-list. What if anything, what would you have changed? Not wear a silk suit or a shirt or
Well, I really used to sweat all the time on these shows. It was horrible. I used to put like Tampax under my arm or
really?
Kotex. You know what it is? Yeah. What would I learn? Well, I really was out of my league as far as the comedians on that show go. I remember, they were seasoned people. I don't know how I ended up on it. I would have, and it's still the same problem today. I would have worked harder. I would have known what I was doing. Even though they didn't let me use the teleprompter. Right? For 7-8 minutes, I should have been able to structure something, but I didn't work that way. And I guess, I used to make fun of people for doing the same 7 minutes every night. I go, well, you're not going to get anyone. Ray Romano, David Tell, you're not going to get, these guys worked at their act. I was just not, tried to be funny,
Yeah, I get you.
So when I came to the TV, I would say I would have to work harder at it.
I got you. And so you're at the Cellar pretty much every night here in Vegas.
Yeah, I got some dates coming up, if I can plug them.
Yes, please.
Thanksgiving, I'll be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Thanksgiving, I'll be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. Okay. For the next month after that, every night I'll be at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio.
Okay, and are you at any point, are you going to be doing Vegas or the Comedy Cellar?
I'm not sure. I actually have to call. They book it out of New York, so I never know when I'm going to be.
And what's your social media handles and everything?
I don't even know. Coco Cohen, probably something like that.
Okay, well, everybody go look up Mark at Coco Cohen or something like that.
Oh, I know. Oh, Instagram is Mark_Coco_Cohen.
Real easy, guys. Mark_Coco_Cohen. Jesus, there's some hieroglyphics in there.
Listen, yes. I'm trying to get double digits followers. I got 9.
Shut the fuck up. Well, Mark, I love you. Thank you for doing this. I know this is so beneath you, but I appreciate you coming to help us little folks.
No, I think, out of all the Dave, listen, you're one of my favorites. No, I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I get some dates, so we'll see. I guess I could catch you maybe at the Cellar.
I think I got some dates. I'll send you my dates coming up.
Everybody go follow Mark at Mark_Coco_Cohen, and possibly Coco Cohen on something else.
Twitter.
Yeah, but tell him you saw him or heard him on fucking Boo. And thanks, Mark. You're the best.
Wait. Before we go, say my name like you do at the club.
Fucking Mark from fucking Springfield, Mass.
Hey, Mark.
Fucking Mark. It's my favorite. All right, Mark. Thanks.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Oh, and then you'll like this, Mark, as I say goodbye to all the listeners of fucking Boo. Bon voyage.
Oh.
Fucking Boo.